Hi guys, I'm Jessica from the Waldock Way, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a look through of Brave Writers Jot It Down curriculum. Now the main purpose behind this curriculum is that it's writing projects for 5 to 8 year olds and that it's in the jot it down stage, which means that while they're the authors, you the parent are the transcriptionist. So you're the one actually like scribing their words, writing or typing them for them. I'm not gonna lie, as a homeschool mom, when I first heard this, while I love Julie Bogart, I thought this was crazy because you have to do writing in homeschool, right? Like as soon as they hit 5 and they're in kindergarten, they must have a pencil in their hand and they must be writing, even if they hate it, right? That's what I thought. And that's what we did the first half of kindergarten. And my daughter despised it. And she started to resent writing because of it. And I watched her creativity start to diminish because she couldn't write stories, meaning that her hand couldn't keep up with her brain. So after I saw that happening, I knew that we had to try Jot It Down. And I'm so glad we did, because now I have this amazing portfolio of writings that she's done that she would have never done otherwise had I not been the one to physically write her words for her. So that's my little plug before I turn you around, is that Jot It Down really did, not just the curriculum, but the meaning behind it and the way of life that comes with it really did change the way we homeschool. So I'm going to turn you around and show you inside the curriculum and then show you a few examples of the writings that we did last year in kindergarten with the Jot It Down project. Jot It Down is a year-long language arts program for ages 5 to 8, and it has 10 monthly writing projects. Included, you have an introduction, you have the program, language arts, routine versus schedule, and then oral practices, and then you have the actual writing program. Almost the first half of this book is about the lifestyle and tips and tricks and routine versus scheduling and setting yourself up for success, and it's kind of written towards to the parent. The whole first half is not necessarily what you need to do. It's kind of a lifestyle. So like these little remember bubbles, this is one of my favorite. Jot it down are writing projects in the jot it down phase of development. That means you, the parent, will be transcribing while your young writer narrates to you. So she talks about setting the context, which if you've ever heard or watched Julie, you know that that includes baking brownies frequently. One of this says, you're at home. Tattoo that sentence on the back of your hand. You're not in school. Your children ought to benefit from the wonderfully close, snugly warm environment, and so should you. And that's something we really should all remember. And then, like I said, tips for you. She talks about the lifestyle, about how that includes poetry tea times and what you could do for poetry tea times, weekly movies, nature study, and then, you know, some tips about nature study. Same as art appreciation. Again with music appreciation. And then a routine versus schedule. So this is some tips and tricks about a routine versus schedule. And then she actually gives you a sample routine in here as well. Oral practices such as recitation, memorization, wordplay, narration, storytelling, and one-on-one time. And then the last thing, which if you look, probably the last, about half, is the writing program. So you have 10 writing programs, and now we did, over the kindergarten year, we did the fairy tale project, which is probably what Jot It Down is most known for, or most widely known for. And that's the one project that will last longer than a month. So it lasted an entire year for us because we enjoyed it so much. So you have the fairy tale project. And then you have an art appreciation project, a photo journal project, a mini book project, a poster project, list projects, a letter box, learning to write a letter properly, a big wonderful numbers project. This one is a body art project. And then your last project is a good enough party. She gives you all the different steps and ideas for that, and then she gives you a whole list of completion rewards for when you've completed Jot It Down. Now I do want to share a little bit of what we did. I'm not going to read these mainly because I didn't ask permission, but these are some of the stories that my daughter wrote last year for kindergarten. And now keep in mind, like I said before, she probably would have not written more than a few letters, much less a sentence, and surely not a story. So Hansel and Gretel, pigs, the Emperor's New Clothes, Little Pink Skipping Hood and the Big Bad Python, The Three Little Kittens and the Big Bad Dog, Goldilocks and the Three Snowmen, The Ugly Worm, and Junie and the Beanstalk. These are probably my favorite part of our kindergarten school year last year. They're probably my most prized possessions as far as homeschooling goes, period. And I know that had I done anything traditional or had I not found Jot It Down, she would have never written these. They would have been lost in her mind forever because I would have never taken the time to write her thoughts down. And now I'm going to end up with this beautifully bound fairy tale collection written by my daughter because of the Jot It Down process and because of using Jot It Down for kindergarten. So I highly suggest, even if you don't buy the Jot It Down curriculum, which I think is wonderful, I do highly suggest listening to all of Julie Bogart's videos and podcasts and anything you can get your hand on, and trying this with your child, especially if they're not a writer or they're in the Jot It Down stage, to make sure that you capture these thoughts before they're gone, because they're not going to write it if they have to pen it themselves.